Oh, hi there. Didn't see you. What's going on, everybody? Sunday night, it's 9 p.m., and you're watching Stream Your Own Adventure with your host, Matt. That's me. Uh, got another installment of the Choose Your Own Adventure series that we may all remember from our childhood, and we may not, because some of us may not be old enough. Um, oh, excuse me as I get comfortable here. Let's see. If you're not familiar with what we do here, and I use we as the royal we, I have a choose your own adventure novel. I will read it, and you, the audience, will choose which path we go on. And as we progress, things get weird, things get funny. Um, and if I die, we drink. As always, I encourage you to play the home game, but I also encourage moderation, rather, and responsibility for the kids. Let's see. Today's book. Vestlord already checking in. I appreciate you, buddy. It's actually hold me closer, Tiny? No, Tony Danza. I met Tony Danza. That's such a crazy story. All right. Anyway, uh, all right. Tonight's book is called Your Code Name is Jonah. And if I'm not mistaken, this book is actually, or excuse me, has been put out. It's one of the books that's been reprinted over the years, and it has a different name. And I just want to look that up because I'm a weird guy and I like that sort of stuff. So it was put out originally, as I said, your code name is Jonah, and then it was eventually reissued as Spy Trap. Oh, you want to hear that story about Tony Danza? Stuff Y, what's going on, buddy? Glad to see you. Glad to have you. Um, oh, Lorraine, photography checking in. What's up, honey? How are you? Always a pleasure. Um, okay. Well, I'll tell you the story about Tony Danza in a little while, because I never thought in a million years that I would meet Tony Danza. But first and foremost, cheers. Oh, oh, stuff. Why? I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your Tony Danza story. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Vessler, you are a freaking emoticon. That's pretty dope. One day I'll be an emoticon. I mean, I have a drawing of myself, and that's pretty rad. All right. Um. I don't even know. All right, I'll tell the Tony Danza story. So in my spare time, I work production, film editing, and stuff like that. And Stuff Wise got his story up. That's pretty cool. Um, so I was hired along with my good buddy, my business partner, to go and film this singer-songwriter. And in the middle of the show, he calls up Tony Danza to the stage, and Tony Danza does a song with him. Apparently, they were working on a musical together, which is, whatever. If you know anything about Tony Danza, he's a musical. He came from theater, which is weird because he played nothing but, you know, stereotypical Italian characters. And at the time, I was in a band called Dudes of Doom, and we had a song called "Who's the Boss." Now, the lyrical content was more about, wow, how ironic. Uh, the abuse of power that comes with a badge and a gun. So, anyway, we used to make jokes leading up to the song about Who's the Boss TV show. Well, I had to meet Tony Danza, and so I did. I stopped him very quickly and I said, listen, I'm a very big fan of your work. Could I please get a picture with you? And sure enough, he was very gracious. He took pictures with everybody, shook everybody's hands and stuff. I took a picture of fantastic. And then, of course, I immediately sent the photo to everyone in my band, and I was like, you know, King Farouk for a day or whatever. So, stuff wise says, I saw a Lincoln Town car, short stretch, outside the local Staples. It had a U-Haul trailer attached. The license plate was Danza. Listen, even Tony Danza needs Staples. What can I say? Um, yeah. I don't know, man. I was Ron Simmons for a day. Damn. uh, all right. One more. Let's get started. You are the hero of the story. Choose from 40 possible endings. Your code name is Jonah by Edward Packard. Now, oh wait, there's more of the story. Two very smartly dressed young men came out of the stables with cases of water bottles and loaded them into the car and left. But who could it have been with Tony Danza? They all want to ride Todd. All right. There is a whale on the cover of this book. Just putting that out there. Whoa. Um, As always, why would I want to view page 60? As always, on my tablet, reading the books, because collecting these things is quite effing expensive. Well, we can name him Todd if we want, but I think Todd the oh, you did Legacy. You did hear someone say Tony Danza. Welcome, brother, welcome. Uh, yeah, there's a whale on the cover of this book, guys. I want to find this whale. Let's make it our job. All right. Oh, I like the hype man and Nightbot. We do live to fight another day. For the record, Legacy 426 was absolutely there. He's my business partner. When we met Tony Danza, he could tell you just how giddy I was. All right, let's do what we came here to do, right? Your code name is Jonah. Warning, do not read this book straight through from the beginning to the end. These pages contain many different adventures you can have while working as a secret agent. From time to time, as you read along, you will be asked to make a choice. Your choice may lead to success or disaster. The adventures you take are a result of your choice. You are responsible because you choose. After you make your choice, follow the instructions to see what happens next. Remember, you cannot go back. Think carefully before you make a move. One mistake could be your last, or may lead you to fame and fortune. Let's see. Joe Bateman checking in. What's up, brother? Yeah, the photo does speak for itself. Also, we have Cheers and Rip. Cheers and Rip. What's Cheers and Rip? I is confused on my own station. All right. Here we go. Page 1. It's already off to a wonderful start. Look at this. Look at this drawing. I guess we're the smarmy little prick in the seat. Best Lord, I gotta say, I love what you're doing with the Nightbot. I think that is absolutely dope. All right, page 1. Here we go. 6 levels below the White House lawn in Annex U-36, you lean back in a big red leather chair in the office of J.J. Oberd, director of the Special Intelligence Group. He glares at you through steel-rimmed glasses from behind a massive oak desk and taps his black brayer pipe on the rim of a crystal bowl. Bowl, not ball. Oh, my bad. Well, whoever created those, there's also whoever created those is really awesome. Okay. Have you ever heard? Oh boy, here we go. Have you ever heard the sounds of the humpback whale? Obart asks. They're like organ music. I can't. What? What is happening right now? Okay. All right, I gotta get it together. They're like organ music, beautiful and eerie. Uh-huh, you reply. Obert picks up a letter from this desk. From Dr. Claude Dumont in Boston to the President of the United States. Dear Mr. President, while tracking humpback whales near Bermuda last month, we recorded whale songs of a type we have never heard before. The whales have a secret. Oh my god, why is Warboss not here? I have to text him. The whales have a secret, and the new whale song is the key. We are analyzing it with our computers. I'll advise you of our findings as soon as possible. Respectfully yours, Claude Dumont, Director, Center of Marine Studies. Oh my god. Um, sorry. I just. Oh, okay. If Dumont is correct, Obart says, it's important for us to learn the meaning of the new whale song before anyone else does. For one thing, it will help us find where these whales go when they disappear. What do you mean, you ask? Obart chews on his pipe before explaining. At a time when there should be lots of humpback whales off Greenland, where they migrate to in the summer, they seem to disappear completely. Since they only can stay underwater for 30 minutes, we have a mystery. Where do they go? Do you want me to go up to Boston and talk to Dumont? You ask. Hobart fastens his eyes upon you as he pauses to light his pipe. I'm afraid your assignment will be more difficult than that. He says, Dumont has been missing for 36 hours. We believe he has been kidnapped by KGB agents, led by someone known as Double I. Oh, this is terrific. I am so bad. If you Joe, if you start taking shots while I'm about when I laugh, you're gonna die because I have a feeling this book is gonna be completely absurd. Obart pushes a folder across the desk. You pick it up and read a report of how, the day before last, Dumont met with President Hans Klein, who agreed to help prepare the computer program that would be used in studying the new whale song. After the meeting, Dumont told Klein he was going straight home. He never made it. We've booked you on a plane to Boston, Obart says as you put the report back on the desk. A helicopter is waiting to take you to the airport. Find Dumont. Find the whale song tape. Your mission is top priority. Your code name is Jonah. They did the thing. They said the name. They did it. Okay. What's this about my OnlyFans? I don't have OnlyFans. We speak about 007. I have to take a shot. Oh, God. Oh, my God. We're getting saucy tonight, I have a feeling. Oh, my God. All right. An hour and 24 minutes later, your 727 Stratojet touches down at Logan International Airport in Boston. You know that Dr. Hans Klein is a key man in the case. Perhaps you should see him first. On the other hand, the scientists at the Center for Marine Studies surely have been following Dumont's work closely. There is a chance they have important information about humpback whales. All right, guys. First poll up. Do we... Ooh, this computer is warm. Do we visit Dr. Klein? Or are we going to visit the Marine Studies Center? Oh, sorry. Our first choice up. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, totally send me email. I don't know. You're all my friends. You can really just text me. But I think everyone in the chat right now has my cell phone number. I get a hot dog. Let's do that instead. I don't think that's an option, Vestlord. I don't think hot dogs are on the agenda. Really, Stuff? Why we don't have each other's cell phone? Huh. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. See, I told you. I am gonna find out why War Boss is not here. In the final seconds of our poll, looks like we're going to the Marine Studies Center. Because everybody wants to know about whales. Page 6. That's a drawing. Okay. All right. You take a taxi cab to the center, a modest two-story building on Charles River, and are met by Dr. Miles Roof? Yeah, Miles Roof. That's right. The assistant director. He tells you that although whales are highly intelligent animals, there is no evidence that they communicate in complex fashion as human beings do. Some of us, not at all. Whale songs are probably no different from bird songs, except they're longer, Roof says. After all, whales have much bigger lungs. You're a spy, and this is the information you get. Like, seriously? Your conversation is interrupted by a phone call from Paul McKim, assistant to the president. McKim tells you that the president has received another letter from Dr. Dumont, but that it mysteriously disappeared before he had a chance to read it. You better get down there as quickly as possible, McKinn says. You didn't call me by my name, you reply. There's a short pause. What kind of narcissistic crap is this? Sorry, Jonah, he replies. You inform Dr. Roof that you must leave for Washington, but he urges you to wait a while in order to talk to Dr. Renata Carini, an Italian scientist who is expected at any moment. She knows a lot about what the Russians are doing, Dr. Ruff says. I'm sure it will be worth your while to stay and talk to her. All right, guys, our next set of options are, are we going to go to Washington immediately, or are we going to wait for the doctor? The female Italian doctor. I don't know. I don't know nothing. Let's see. Dro, are you promoting your OnlyFans on my channel? Because I want to cut. Where's the whale and why can't I ride it yet? Because we're not there yet. We're still on land, dude, and we're about to go back in the air. Because, you know, reasons. The poll's almost halfway done. And it looks like we're going to Washington. All right. Page 12. To Washington. I want a piggyback ride from the doctor. Well, then maybe you should have picked the doctor because we're in Washington now. As soon as you arrive at the warehouse, that's what we're calling it these days. As soon as you arrive at the White House, you are ushered into McKinn's office. A tall, gaunt man in his late 40s, McKinn relates to you that about 9:30 yesterday morning, Maria Bittner, there's a lot of names. Maria Bittner, the president's secretary, opened a new letter to the president from Dr. Claude Dumont. She put the letter on the table for the president to look at later that day. When she came back a half hour later, it was missing. Who had access to this room, you ask McKinn. Only the president, his security advisor, Henry Timbers, and myself, and, of course, Mrs. Bittner. McKinn rises as the president himself walks into the room. The two of you shake hands, and the president asks you about your work on the case. There are a number of mysteries about this, the president says. The new whale song, the disappearing whales, the disappearance of Dr. Dumont, and now the disappearance of this letter. I'd like you to stay right here until you can find out what happened to that letter. But Obard tells me he has a plane waiting for you to the Arcturus. Sure. A diesel schooner. That word schooner always makes me laugh. A diesel schooner chartered to monitor Russian experiments with the whales. The skipper reports there is a Russian spy on the Arcturus who has defected and is willing to turn over valuable information. We could get our own security people to check out the stolen letter business, unless you feel you should handle it yourself. Schooner is a sailboat. All right, guys. Our next choices. Are we going to? If you say, I think I'd better find out what happened to Dr. Dumont's missing letter. All right, that's our first choice. Figure out what happened to the missing letter. Or we're going to leave for the, and I'm going to write it out. Maybe one of you smart guys can tell me how you spell that. Arcturus. So we're either going to look. So we're either going to look for the missing letter from Dumont, or we're going to head to the Arcturus to find out about this Russian defector. What are you going to tell me, Stuff? Why? Are you going to tell me that the Easter Bunny is not real and that it's just a man in a costume over there? You can't hurt me. Oh, man. Oops. Sorry, guys. Steal the boat and find the whale. Not a choice. Not a choice. But I liked your enthusiasm. You know something? For the record, and those things were really popular, those, I don't know, what, magical eye, magic illusion things. I had a friend who had one of those books, and we would sit at his dining room table and stare at them until we basically went blind. Geez, really 50-50 split, huh? You're going to make me choose? I don't know. I think something's afoot. We're going to look for the missing letter. Anyway, we would go blind looking at these things, right? Page 28. I could never see them, and I'll never forget. My friend's mom came into the room. She's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we said, "Oh, these books. You stare at them, and you see magical images or whatever, 3D." And she's like, "Really?" She picks it up. Not even kidding you. She picks it up just like this. "Oh yeah, it's a fish." We sat there for hours, and she just looked at it for 5 seconds. To this day, I still can't do those things. Anyway, page 28, here we go. "I think that while I'm here, Mr. President, I'd better talk to the people who had access to that letter," you say. "Fine," he replies. "I'm sure McKinn will give you all the help you need." After the president leaves, you exchange glances with McKinn. He has a kindly face, but seems very nervous. He must be under a lot of stress. Wait, what? Oh, turn to page 49. Okay, I was not expecting that. Page 49. "Do you feel that either Mrs. Bittner or Secretary Timbers took the letter?" you ask McKinn. "Logically, one of them must have taken it," he replies. "But they have both stood up under every conceivable security investigation." "Were you in Mrs. Bittner's office between 9:30 and 10 when she claims she returned and found the letter missing from under the ashtray?" you ask. "Yes. I came looking for her a few minutes before 10. She wasn't there, so I left." "Did you notice anything?" "Well, I did notice that her desk was clear and there was no letter under the ashtray." Best Lord, it's actually really funny that you say I got schooled. She was a teacher. Anyhoozle. Our next poll is coming up, and it's a 3-piece. So, do we question Mrs. Bittner, which is a strange name? Do we question Timbers? Or do we give up trying to find who took the letter? Give up. Do you give up and go home? No, I don't know. Is that Corky Romano? Dude, it's so good. Yeah. I think my buddy brought that thing into school. And like at lunchtime we're all like, "Oh, I don't see anything. Oh." Good God, that was those things to this day, man. The School of Whales, perhaps. I don't know. Just once. I would just like to see once, just once, one of those 3D things. Oh man. Yeah, I think I tried looking at them. I think I tried looking at them within the last year, and I was like, maybe I'm older, maybe I could see it better now. I don't know. Podcast. Waka waka. I mean, it is a pod. Question Timbers, huh? All right. Question Timbers, page 53. Whoa. That was a drawing. All right. Timbers ushers you into his office and gestures towards a chair. He seems somewhat nervous, but not unfriendly. Sorry, I read that weird in my head. Were you in Bittner's office between 9:30 and 10 when she claimed she returned and found the letter missing from under the ashtray, you ask? Yes, I came in just after 9:30 looking for her. She wasn't there, so I left. Did you notice anything? Not a thing. Did you notice whether there was anything under the ashtray, you persist? I really didn't even notice whether there was an ashtray. I just glanced around the room and left. Thank you, Mr. Timbers. This is going nowhere, and I apologize wholeheartedly because I'm the one who picked to look for the letter. Maybe we'll get shot dead or something. I don't know. Just not the same. Without War Boss egging me on to die. All right. Our next selection has 3 selections once again. Okay, so if you haven't talked to Mrs. Bittner, excuse me, she's married, you decide to question her, go to this page. If you have talked to Ms. Bittner and decide to question McKinn further, go to this page. If you decide to give up looking for the letter, go to this page. I wonder what the actual focal point is. I wonder if we could do it backward. You have a focal point and then you insert the photo in your field. I don't know, man. Like, if I remember correctly, they say, like, if you stare at it long enough. Oh, Gintastic checking in. What's up, brother? They say that if you relax your eyes and you kind of let them drift, I'm not sure what that exactly means. You'll it'll come into view, and it has to do with the patterns. I don't know. It's really weird. Yeah. I hate to say this, but there was like a Vox video, like one of those Vox almanacs or like their side videos or whatever. They talked about it, and that's what sparked my interest in it again to see if maybe now as an adult I could see him. Nope, no chance. Jin, we are reading. Your code name is Jonah. We are some kind of secret agent on the hunt for a doctor who's been studying whale songs. There's a really good chance we're going to encounter a whale. Oh, sorry guys, timer's up. We're going to Mrs. Bittner. Page 52. That's weird. All right. You and Mrs. Bittner sit down in her office. Tell me what happened, you said. An aide brought me several letters about 9:20, Mrs. Bittner replies. I screened them quickly to see which ones were important enough for the president. I knew he would want to read the letter from Dumont, so I put it under the ashtray along with a couple of others that looked important. I left for a meeting at 9:30. When I came back at 10, the other 2 letters were there, but Dumont's was missing. You have to look at it without looking at it. Man, oh man, are you right. Next poll. There's another 3-parter. All right, well, let's see. The first one is speak to Timbers, which we already did. Let's bypass that one. The second one is speak to Timbers. And the third one is give up. Let's do that. Let's change this to this. That way it's not so confusing. So the poll should really look like if you have spoken to Timbers and you want to speak to McKinn further, if you haven't spoke to Timbers and you want to speak to him, or we give up. Oh man, that song, Jin, by the way, I swear I was probably like 10 or 12. It was like my favorite song for an entire day. Whale or you crash the screen. Come on, dude. That's not cool. I know you're really just looking to make like humpback jokes. Because you're just like that type of guy. I know you. I know you. Alright, we're winding down here. Let's see where this is going. I'm not sure if that's a paintbrush, a broom, or a hammer, or a fork in a stack of pancakes. Alright. We're gonna go press McKinn one more time because now we're two in deep. 47, page 47. Ooh, goodness, that's my song forever. I get married to this one. Oh, Pablo Lo Francisco. Oh my God, I almost got his name wrong. You return to McKinn's office and close the door behind you. Did you figure out who took Dumont's letter? He asks. Yes, you. Who? What? Me? Why, that's preposterous, he replies. No, it's not. It has to be you. Because if Miss Bittner had taken the letter, she would, ha 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 ha, English, I speak good. Because if Mrs. Bittner had taken the letter, she never would have reported it missing. And, since she is innocent, we can assume she was telling the truth when she said the other two letters were never taken from under the ashtray. Yet, you were so anxious to show that Dumont's letter had been taken before you got there that you insisted that there were no letters under the ashtray. Ken doesn't blink an eye. Instead, he reaches in his desk, pulls out a letter, and shows it to you. Since you want to know what Dumont said in the letter, here it is, he says. Aha! That's good detective work. I did say a stack of pancakes. This whole quarantine, I've wanted pancakes, dude. It's unbelievable. Good detective work. You mean you took this letter before the president could see it, you reply? Read it, McKinn says. You glance at the handwriting. Dumont wrote it, all right. The letter reads, Dear Mr. President, I have discovered the new whale song as a signal telling where the whales disappeared to. An enormous underwater cavern under Deception Island off the east coast of Greenland. I will be happy to discuss this with you. Meanwhile, I urge that the cavern of the whales be preserved as their rightful property. Respectfully yours, Claude Dumont. Turn the page, please. Oh, respectfully yours, Claude Dumont. What? 47. 48. I'm the one who stole the letter, McKinn says, as you finish reading it. I did so because Dumont called me and asked me to intercept it, saying he decided that he did not want the president to know about the cavern of the whales. And you were withholding this information even though the president is elected to make the decision, you ask? I have to follow my conscience, McKinn says. Now you'll have to follow yours. Oh my God, I'm about to make pancakes right now. First of all, I'm jealous. Secondly, the Isle of Deception is where all ex-girlfriends are from. I have it on very good authority, because apparently that's where the whales go. Ex-girlfriends, whales, equal each other. Got it. All right. Just hope you guys are following along. Our next decision. If you say, my conscience says we must go to the president immediately and tell the prez. If you say, I'll have to think about this and let my conscience be my guide, choose the other one. This is a tough call, guys. This is a tough call. Math. Math indeed, dude. Math. It's everywhere. Here's to all the math teachers that said we were never going to have calculators around all the time. Boy, were you wrong. Yeah. Yeah, man, pancakes. I want pancakes. I really want pancakes. Tried to make them the other day. They were terrible. They came out awful. Just terrible. So so disappointed. Oh man, I was really looking forward to them. Yeah, terrible, terrible, terrible. Nope. Yeah, good. Well, okay, so all right, it's story time. I'm so full of stories. I should probably not read these stories, and I should just tell you guys stories. It's probably a better stream idea. 50-50. Come on, guys. All right. We're gonna tell the president, but I'm gonna tell this story first. So, Legacy would tune into that stream. Yeah. Well, after hours. Legacy can attest. We went to Pittsburgh to see the Steelers play the Saints. I'm a Saints fan. Legs is just a football fan. Drove out to Pittsburgh. I had a few friends at the time. Don't snitch, bro. It's too late. It's happening. I had a few friends at the time that were from Pittsburgh, so I was asking food recommendations. So they told me to go to this place called Patricia's. It was around the corner from the hotel we were staying at for pancakes. I'm not going to say no. We went down there and we had these pancakes. These are some of the best pancakes I've ever had in my life. Um, Second only to these pancakes I had in Atlantic City. Weird story. We'll tell that later. But these pancakes were like crepes. They were a little thicker than crepes, and they were fantastic. So for the rest of my life, from then till now, I've wanted these crepe-style pancakes. I found this mix in the supermarket, and I had it in my pantry for God knows how long, and I said, well, quarantine, I'm going to make these pancakes. And I tried to make them, and they sucked. So I can make regular pancakes. I really want these pancakes from Patricia's. I just hate that Pittsburgh is 6 hours away from me. So if you're ever in Pittsburgh, check out Patricia's for pancakes. If you like crepes, I can't stress enough how good these were. So we're going to tell the president we're going to page 54. Going to Studio 54. Excuse me, sorry, apologize. Now that I've changed my mic, I think it's a little more sensitive. All right. Good, McKinn says. And don't worry about that letter. The president's already seen it. We have been testing your fitness for the job, and you're doing fine. You'll also be glad to know the case is closed. We've reached an agreement with the Russians. Dumont has been returned home safely. The whales will be protected, and their cavern kept off limits for military and commercial purposes. You walk out of McKinn's office with a smile on your face, feeling as light as a whale in the water. The end. First of all, Vestlord, don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah, so that was the crappiest ending to anything I think we've ever read. Ever. And I guess it's kind of my fault. And there's Vestlord once again. And his pie for a head. By the way, Vestlord, that flyer you made that time for another video game con that we did the panel at, I absolutely love that. That's like one of my favorite things of all time. Should do more of that stuff. Just make weird 8-bit, 16-bit things of us. Not, Anyway, so we, I think I might print one. I think you should. And then you should, you know what you should do? You should print it, and you should make it autographs. You want an autograph of the Vestlord himself? That's what you give out, and you sign it. Oh, yeah, no, I loved that post, Rose. It was a lot of fun. All right, we're going to start again, because that one really sucked. I won't read the warning, because who needs that crap? All right. I'm going to bang through the first 2 or 3 pages. 6 levels below the White House lawn in Annex U36, you lean back in a big red leather chair in the office of J.J. Obar, director of the Special Intelligence Group. He glares at you through steel-rimmed glasses from behind a massive oak desk and taps his black rare pipe on the rim of a crystal bowl. Why is he so angry at you? Have you ever heard the sounds of humpback whales? Hubbard asks. They're like organ music. Beautiful and eerie. Uh-huh, you reply. Like, I could care less, dude. I couldn't care less. Obert picks up a letter from his desk. From Dr. Claude Dumont in Boston to the President of the United States, he says. Dear Mr. President, while tracking humpback whales near Bermuda last month, we recorded whale songs of a type we had never heard before. The whales have a secret, and the new whale song is key. We're analyzing it with our computers. I'll advise you of our findings as soon as possible. Respectfully yours, Claude Dumont, Director of Marine Studies. If Dumont is correct, Obert says, it's important for us to learn the meaning of the new whale song before anyone else does. For one thing, it will help us find where the whales go when they disappear. What do you mean, you ask? Hubbard chews on his pipe before explaining. At a time when there should be lots of humpback whales off of Greenland, where they migrate to in the summer, they seem to disappear completely. Since they can only stay underwater for 30 minutes, we have a mystery. Where do they go? Do you want me to go to Boston to talk to Dumont, you ask? Hubbard fastens his eyes upon you as he pauses to light his pipe. I'm afraid your assignment will be more difficult than that, he says. Dumont has been missing for 36 hours. We believe he's been kidnapped by KGB agents, led by someone known as Double I. Oh, Double I. Hubbard pushes a folder toward the desk. You pick it up and read a report of how the day before last, Dumont met with President Hans Klein, who agreed to help prepare the computer program that would be used in studying the new whale song. After the meeting, Dumont told Klein he was going straight home. He never made it. We've booked you on the next plane to Boston, Hubbard says, as you put the report back on the desk. A helicopter is waiting to take you to the airport. Find Dumont, find the whale song tape. Your mission is top priority. Your code name is Jonah. An hour and 20 minutes later, your 727 Stratojet touches down at Logan International Airport in Boston. You know that Dr. Hans Klein is a key man in the case. Perhaps you should see him first. On the other hand, the scientists at the Center for Marine Studies surely have been following Dumont's work closely. There is a good chance they have important information on the humpback whales. So, our choices are, we going to visit Klein, which is not how you spell that, or are we going to visit, another I in that, the center. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think we went to the center already? I don't know. I'm not paying attention. Say, You want me to say that? Oh, I'm not a dancing monkey. Do it for $1, though. You know. Gotta make a buck where you can. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Another wonderful Sunday. Anyway. Oh, the other pancake story. Let me tell you the other pancake story. So my all-time favorite pancakes come from, well, all right. So I have this thing. By the way, we're all going to visit Dr. Klein. The best is unattainable, in my opinion. I heard George St. Pierre talk about that, and I agreed with him 100%. You can't be the best at anything, because no matter what, there's always someone better than you. And then if you think about the timing of it all, you're the best at that very moment. At any rate, I stayed at this beachside hotel in Atlantic City. The name escapes me at the moment. I'll come up with it later. And the next morning, we had breakfast, and I ordered pancakes, and they were quite honestly the best pancakes I had ever had up until that moment. They were like the perfect consistency. They were perfectly fluffy. And then to boot, they threw a little powdered sugar on it. Oh! But this is why I say you can't be the best. It's physically impossible. Even you, war boss, showing up late and all that, but I still appreciate you nonetheless. I went back to that same hotel because we had a great experience. We stayed there, and of course, the diner downstairs was fantastic with those amazing pancakes. I ordered them again, completely disappointing. And I'm not the type to hype things up. I'm not the type to go into it with high expectations. I thought they were going to be good, and they were good. They weren't as amazing as I first had them, but is what it is. So. Dr. Klein it is. Dr. Klein receives you at his ivy-colored brick house, ivy-covered, because a dark green house would be weird, overlooking the Charles River in Cambridge. After checking your identity, he invites you into his study. Dumont was on the verge of a great discovery, he explains, as soon as you are both seated. We were using my... I found a typo! It's supposed to say computer, but they forgot to put the C. We were using my ommuter. Omputer. We were using my computer to analyze the new whale song. But I can't do it without Dumont. I'll be glad to play the tape for you. How's that? I didn't do anything. The phone rings before you have a chance to reply. Klein answers it and beckons you over. Mr. Obard calling from the from Washington. Let's see. Anyway, sorry, I'm reading what you guys are writing, and I shouldn't be. Let's see. I was out driving, getting lost in Long Island, and then got home and was dumb. Okay. Sure. Anyway, sorry to bother you, Obard says, but this is very important. A Cessna, always a weird word. A Cessna 323 executive jet landed in Halifax about an hour ago. On board was a KGB, oh man, you're not really going to make me do this, was a KGB agent named Anton Raninsky, who is posing as a businessman. He has been tracking Dumont, and we have been following him. Anyway, he was met at Halifax Airport and driven to a seaside farmhouse. There's a motorboat. There's a motorboat anchored in the cove nearby. We're pretty sure that Raninsky plans to use it to get to a Russian submarine. You may want to go up there right away. This may lead us to Dumont. You can catch the afternoon plane if you hurry. All right, let's see. Facebook reminded me when it was on. That's why I do it. And speaking of which, was considering, as I type out our next choice, was considering making a Facebook fan page or whatever. So that way, if you follow and like it, you will get auto updates. Today's title, by the way, is Your Code Name is Jonah. Yeah. All right, let's see. If you decide to stay and ask Klein to play the whale song, that's our first option. If you want to take the first plane to Halifax, I've never been. Sounds like fun. Like any place with an X in the name. Big fan of the letter X. If you want to go to the Boston FBI to check out the files on Dr. Claude Dumont, okay. Go to FBI. Oh, this is weird. Those are our choices. Play the whale song on his guitar, then yes. Otherwise, no. My Anime Podcast. This is absolutely Matt from the Wave Back Podcast. How the heck are you? Appreciate you tuning in. I'm also going to say I appreciate you listening to the Wave Back. Obviously, me and Chris love doing it, and we love to hear from you guys. And then for those of you who don't listen to that podcast, what the hell is wrong with you? I thought we were friends. If you like video game music, especially video games from your childhood, which they all are, it's like this is a photo of me when I was younger. Yeah, technically they're all photos of you when you were younger. Anyway, if you like video game music and you like two guys who like to talk about video game music, listen to the Wave Back Podcast. Really good. Right now, we're currently in the middle of a two-part episode where we're tackling Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Holy cow, I just had a brain fart. And then we drink. Oh, Gun Hill Brewery. Man, I should film a commercial for Gun Hill Brewery. I love those guys. Anyway, we're going to Halifax. Halifax could, in fact, lead to the whale. Is that the same as Paper Mario? No, dude. Paper Mario was later. Getting off topic for a second. Super Mario RPG is exactly what it sounds like. It's a turn-based RPG game starring the cast of Mario, or in the universe of the Mario world, universe, world, universe. Um, it's really, really good, and if you haven't played it, I suggest you should. Thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that about about me and Chris. I'm absolutely gonna let him know that you said we were dope AF, as the kids say. Anyway, we're gonna go to Halifax, which is page 8. We're going to Halifax. We're going to track down this KGB agent on page 8 potentially. I overshot. Whoa, that was an interesting drawing. Okay, here we go. You promptly take leave of Klein, hail a cab, and head for the airport. You know, we had a helicopter the first time to the airport. Why can't we? Look at all that juicy information about me. Super of mango try. Anyway, sorry guys. It will be dark when you reach Halifax. You'll have to stay overnight in a hotel, rent a car, and head out to the farmhouse in the morning. While waiting for your plane, you learn that a storm is expected. High winds and 6 to 8 foot waves are predicted for the next couple of days. Too rough. What? There's a weird mark. Looks like a period, sorry. Too rough for Radunsky to put to sea. You'll have time to close in on him. Turn to page 10. Turn to page 10. A few hours later, you land at Halifax Airport, pick up your bag, and walk outside in the cold, misty night. As you wait for a cab to take you to the Lord Dunbar Hotel, a black Ford drives up. A well-tailored young woman steps out and walks up to you. Jonah. She gestures with her hand, indicating that she wants you to get inside the car. Aubert must have gotten in touch with the Canadian Intelligence Office and asked them to provide you with assistance. As you step forward to get in the car, you exchange glances with the driver, a heavy-set man with a cap pulled down over his forehead. He smiles at you. The woman knows your code name, so you have no reason to doubt that she is on you. You have no reason to doubt that she is on your side. Yet, for some reason, you feel suspicious. Maybe you're just getting jumpy from being in the business so long. I have no idea why we're not dead yet, but this might actually be a line. Whoops. This might be a line to us dying. So, which is it going to be? Are we going to get in the car despite our gut? Or are we going to step back and ask questions? Yeah, War Boss, you're right. You missed you missed the story arc in which we questioned everyone in the president's office about a missing letter, and it turned out to be a training test, and that's how it ended. We passed with flying colors. It's the dumbest thing ever. Don't know, man. She's a fibber. That anytime someone says the word fibbing or fibber, I'm always reminded of DuckTales, the original run from the 80s. There was an episode where a harp would tell you if you were lying or not, and it would say, "You are fibbing, fibbing, fibbing." So, that's my brain. So those of you guys out there who are enjoying adult beverages, cheers. Also, to you guys playing the home game, cheers. Yeah. Oh, we're getting in the car despite our better judgment. Let's see. Page 24. Oh, this is a great drawing. You guys are going to love this. Oh, boy. You step in the back of the car. Suddenly, a man you hadn't noticed before gets in next to you. The opposite door opens. You wheel around and see another man with a black hat pulled down over his forehead. You've been boxed in. Each of them is pointing a snub-nosed revolver at you. You slide into the middle of the back seat. The woman gets in front. The car speeds off. You feel a heavy blow to the head. And I always talk about the awesome art. I'll get this right one day. Look how mad you are. Look how mad you are. And if those aren't like the most like ethnically racist, oh god. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Thanks, War Boss. Page 26, we go. Oh god, what am I looking at? Here's another fantastic drawing. Looks like something out of Pink Floyd's The Wall. You're awakened by bright sunlight shining on your face. You are lying in an old-fashioned iron-frame bed. Through the window you can see cows grazing in the distance. There's no chance to escape. Your ankle is chained to the bedstead. Okay? While you lie there, rubbing your throbbing head, two short, stocky thugs enter the room. They are almost comically similar, with crude, puffy faces and slicked back, greasy hair. While one of them covers you with a snub-nosed pistol, the other unchains you and forces you up out of bed. They lead you to another room and seat you at a table next to a telephone. And the artwork here is just tremendous. That's one guy. That's the other guy. Tell me that they don't look like the judges in Pink Floyd's The Wall. Nope, still not dead yet. What an awkward scene indeed. Wait, what's the awkward part? Us waking up chained to a bed or getting into the back seat with two guys with guns? Because, I mean, I call that foreplay. Next page. In the moment the phone will ring, one of them says. The person calling you will be Dr. Claude Dumont. You will identify yourself so that he will know it is really you he's talking to. Then you will tell him the only way the whales can be saved now is to get Russian cooperation. So you think this will trick Dumont into talking, you ask sarcastically? That's right, the thug remarks. We have other ways, of course. Using you as our humane method, he laughs. But if you play any tricks, you will die. The phone rings. Okay. Here's a big one. I feel like I shouldn't even ask you guys. I was looking at something and I heard foreplay. Well, that's what you get on this channel. If you're not paying attention, you're going to hear weird things. Especially when you tune out. Are we going to refuse to cooperate? I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, so if you refuse to cooperate, it's our first choice. If you say you'll cooperate, hoping somehow to warn Dumont, is the second one. So cooperate / warn. Those are our next choices. I just hope we get some more awesomely racist artwork. Because that's funny stuff. I wonder what their skulls look like. I mean, they're probably the missing link, honestly. This book I think I might try and get a physical copy of just so I can have those drawings, like, physically. Go Hagen! Give my people air! That really takes me back to my Dudes of Doom days, though. Like boats with aisles. Yeah, really. Holy cow. That's such an astute observation. Oh, you like the Arnold, it's not like a big deal or nothing. We just, we go and we pump some iron. All right, we're going to refuse to cooperate because you guys want me to die. I don't know if I like or hate you guys. That's a lie. I love you. Let's keep going. Page 91. Dang, that's far in this book of 114 pages. We're going to refuse to cooperate. I'm working for the Special Intelligence Group, not for anyone else, you say. I'm sure they will always remember you as a hero, one of the thugs says as he pulls the trigger. The end. Wow, that was so abrupt. Holy cow. So, let's see. Are you still here? It does not seem. Oh no, my anime podcast. You are still here. So we died, and when we die, we drink. And if you're playing at home, we drink together. So here's to Jonah, the special agent. Oh, never gets any better. Cheers to y'all. Let's see. What you drinking? That's Tito's vodka, which is what's the word? Oh my god. Oh my god. Why can't I think of the word? It's gluten free. Oh my god, I couldn't think of that. Gluten free, which means no hangovers. Words of the wise. But in here, this was Hibiscus Kiss from Gun Hill Brewery. Love Gun Hill Brewery. Grew up on Gun Hill. And then they opened a brewery, which is like my dream. Back to the beginning. Legacy, you still here? Dro, I know you are. I'm going to make a nice joke for the heck of it. Yeah, someone totally promised me a bottle of something else on my slow and low. I wish they carried it over on my block. I've got 2 liquor stores, and not one of them carries it. Last time I picked it up, I had to go to Little Italy to get it. Not that I was going to Little Italy for it. I saw it, and I said, well, I gotta grab this. Is it? I didn't realize that. I figured the natural sugars in potatoes and stuff. But in the fermenting process, and I don't know. All right, anyway. Sorry, Dro, I made the joke. I missed the joke. Well, it doesn't seem like Legs is paying attention, but tonight I want to dedicate this episode to my buddy, Robert Dumais. He was a writing partner of mine and good friend. He's not dead. He still is a good friend and a writing partner of mine. I just thought it would be really funny if I dedicated this episode to Robert Dumais, who is totally not watching. That made my night. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna jump back in, see if we can get ourselves another another kill or death or ending. All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting some really funny text messages. Where did that make shot happen? Where that mugshot happened? I don't know. Weren't you carrying this around for like ever, and you would send photos of it like places? I forgot I had it, and I found it on my desk, and it cracked me up, and I thought I'd just dedicate the episode to him. Anyway, here we go again. 6 levels below the White House lawn in Annex U36, you lean back in a big red leather chair, can't say that fast, in the office of J.J. Obard, director of the Special Intelligence Group. He glares at you through steel-rimmed glasses from behind massive oak desk and taps his black brayer pipe on the rim of crystal bowl. Have you ever heard the sounds of humpback whales? Obert asks. They're like organ music, beautiful and eerie. Uh-huh, you reply. Obert picks up a letter from his desk. From Dr. Claude Dumont in Boston, to the President of the United States. Dear Mr. President, while tracking humpback whales near Bermuda last month, we recorded whale songs of a type we have never heard before. The whales have a secret, and the new whale song is key. We are analyzing it with our computers. I'll advise you of our findings as soon as possible. Respectfully yours, Claude Dumont, Director, Center for Marine Studies. You know, really quickly, something bothers me. We just got killed. We were shot to death because we wouldn't comply, and they really needed Dr. Dumont. What the hell's their plan afterwards? If Dumont is correct, Obart says, it's important for us to learn the meaning of the new whale song before anyone else does.
For one thing, it'll help us find where these whales go when they disappear. What do you mean, you ask? Obart chews on his pipe before explaining. At the time, at a time when there should be lots of humpback whales off Greenland, where they migrate to in the summer, they seem to disappear completely. Since they can only stay underwater for 30 minutes, we have a mystery. Where do they go? Do you want me to go up to Boston and talk to Dumont, you ask? Obart fastens his eyes upon you as he pauses to light his pipe. I'm afraid your assignment will be more difficult than that, he says. Dumont has been missing for 36 hours. We believe he has been kidnapped by KGB agents, led by someone known as Double I. I really want to get to Double I, guys. I really want to know why they call him Double I. Is it because he's got two eyes? Obart pushes a folder across the desk. You pick it up and read it. Read a report of how, the day before last, Dumont met with Professor Hans Klein, who agreed to help prepare the computer program that would be used in studying the new whale song. After the meeting, Dumont told Klein he was going straight home. He never made it. We've booked you on the next plane to Boston, Obart says, as you put the report back on the desk. A helicopter's waiting to take you to the airport. Find Dumont. Find the whale song tape. Your mission is top priority. Your code name is Jonah. An hour and 20 minutes later, your 727 Stratojet touches down at Logan International Airport in Boston. You know that Dr. Hans Klein is a key man in the case. Perhaps you should see him first. On the other hand, the scientists at the Center for Marine Studies surely have been following Dr. Dumont's work closely. There is a good chance they have important information about the humpback whales. So, let's throw up our next poll. That's too many L's for the word poll. Are we going to visit Klein, or are we going to visit the center? And it would be great if I could spell. Never was my strong suit. Uni-I is his porn star brother. I like it. I like it a lot. Light my pipe as well. Hey man, home game's the home game. The house rules. And that's the end of that. Not my forte. No idea what you're talking about, but I love it. Oh, man. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, Dean knows. Oh, Dean knows. That can't be good. All right, we're going to go back to the center. Visit the center on page 6. Then go to the page 6, you little... All right. Don't keep secrets from me, boys. We're friends. All right. You take a taxi cab to the center, a modest two-story building on Charles River, and are met by Dr. Miles Roof, the assistant director. He tells you... I just got it. I just got it. Sorry. He tells you that although whales are highly intelligent animals, there is no evidence that they communicate in complex fashion, as do human beings. Whale songs are probably no different from bird songs, except they are longer, Roof says. After all, whales have much bigger lungs. Your conversation is interrupted by a phone call from Paul McKinn, assistant to the president. McKinn tells you that the president has received another letter from Dr. Dumont, but that it mysteriously disappeared before he had a chance to read it. You better get down here as quickly as possible, McKinn says. You didn't call me by my name, you reply. There's a short pause. Sorry, Jonah, he replies. You inform Dr. Roof that you must leave for Washington, but he urges you to wait a while in order to talk to Dr. Renata Carini, an Italian scientist who is expected at any moment. She knows a lot about what the Russians are doing, Dr. Roof says. I'm sure it'll be worth your while to stay and talk to her. Oh boy, hand over the frickin' french fries indeed. Cole Hagen, give my people french fries! Alright. Our next choice. Do we head to Washington immediately, which we've done already, and ended in possibly the worst ending ever, or do we wait for the Italian doctor? That's too many ends. Not enough eyes. Double eye. God, I want to know what this is all about. If we don't come across Dr. Eye, oh my God, now I'm making up characters. If we don't come across Double Eye, I'm going to figure out how to get to him. And I might just do a separate video of how we get there. Yeah. I'll stay back there. How's everybody's Sunday going? See what's going on. Oh, we're gonna wait for the good doctor. I hope she's a good doctor. She might be a spy too. She'll seduce us like a James Bond type character. Oh wait, Dro, you have to drink. I made a James Bond reference. Dr. Eye is Double Eye's cousin, who's a dentist, but he says he's a doctor. You know, I think the obvious joke is that he's an optometrist. I mean, I thought you said new rule, whatever. All right. Waiting for the good doctor on page 14. Oh, my. We think Carini is on the level, he replies. But we just got a startling report from an informer in New York. The Russians are analyzing the whale song tape in a brownstone house off of Central Park, occupied by a man named Ivan Ivenko. That's real effing. Anyway, we are now sure that Ivenko is Double Eye. Can you follow this up? You may be able to break the case wide open. And here is a lovely drawing of the lovely Dr. Renata, Carini, just looking as lovely as possible. Right, so our choices are we going to, okay, there's supposed to be a W in that, thank you. Are we going to go with Dr. Carini? Where are we going, though? Or are we going to leave for the Big Apple? I don't know. I love you guys. Plot twist. This is vodka too. Anyway. Yeah. That's you know, I talk a lot about the artwork in these books and how much I really enjoy it. I, however, did not enjoy that photo, that drawing of Dr. Renata. Why do I keep saying Renata? Renata. I feel as though if she were a real person, she'd be very upset at how bad that was. It's not even a good caricature. It's just bad. Ha! He hopes I die soon. That's great. Thanks, buddy. Love you too. All right. Anyway, looks like we're heading to the Big Apple. Page 33. All right, here we go. When you get off the plane in New York, you are met by a courier with a note from Obard. We think Double Eye is a man named Ivan Ivenko. I thought we just established that. But we don't know how to prove it. For the past 3 months, only a few people have entered or left his 73rd Street brownstone house. Yet, a lot must go on there because Consolidated Edison... Wow! Consolidated Edison. That's Con Ed for long. Consolidated Edison reports billing Ivenko over $7,500 each month just for electricity. We have a hunch the whale song tape is in that house. Get it. First of all, $7,500 a month is a lot of money now. This was written in like 1980, maybe 81. They're really swinging for the fences with that one. Uh, you have to think of a way to get in Ivenko's house. You could pretend to be willing to sell him information about the whale song. I read that weird, but who cares? You know enough so that you could probably convince him you were worth talking to. Or you might try a somewhat more unorthodox method, firing your Mark MX high intensity smoke bomb into an open window. The Mark MX bomb emits dense synthetic smoke, which drives occupants out of the building. In the confusion, it should be fairly easy to get inside. All right, guys. Like, that escalated very quickly. You can either lie or you can assault the apartment. So, I ask you, my fine audience, are we going to lie to get in or are we going to assault the apartment? That's not how you spell assault? You're lying. You know, I say this every so often. Sometimes these books are a little more adult than they should be for like 10 and 12-year-olds. I'm going to do a shameless plug for internetarchives.org. It's currently where I'm reading this book. It's a collective of people who have scanned books for, people to read. And I've been borrowing them every week for your entertainment. Okay, so for my entertainment too. But my favorite part of the scans is that sorry, a big chunk of information just came on there. I'm going to read that in 1 second. My favorite part of the scans is that some of the books come from people's personal collections. You know, when you're a kid, you write your name in it. Some come from libraries. This one's from a library, and I think it's pretty cool. Fun fact, there was a whale that was lonely and couldn't communicate with other whales because the noises it made to communicate were on a higher frequency, 52 hertz, than what other whales use to communicate with each other. That is the most interesting and yet sad thing on the planet. A lonely whale not being able to communicate with its fellow whales. I have nothing. Anyway, we're gonna assault the apartment. No, all jokes aside, thanks for that tidbit. I love learning little weird things. We are in fact actually kicking in the door, waving that 4-4 because today was a good day. Page 66. Page 66. Ooh, this is a long one. That's what she said. You notice that a second-story window of the brownstone is wide open. You won't even have to break any glass. You take your portable launcher out of your dispatch case, insert a tiny explosive charge, take aim and fire. Almost immediately, smoke begins to billow out of the window. You know that the Mark MX synthetic smoke will spread rapidly through the house. You observe from a few steps away. In a moment, a window opens, then the front door. Smoke is billowing out as if the whole house were on fire. You see a man dressed in a black suit come running out. He looks around nervously. Then a tall woman with frizzy blonde hair follows. A fat bald man comes out, then a barrel-chested thug dressed in a sweatsuit. Everyone is looking down the street. Fire engines are already approaching. A crowd begins to gather. You put on your smoke mask and slip inside the house. With your yellow beam light, you are able to make your way upstairs, where the smoke is already clearing up. You throw another bomb downstairs to delay anyone from entering. Then you look around on the second floor. It is divided in 2 large rooms. One of them is filled with electronic equipment. It takes you only a couple of minutes to find the tape player and the tape itself. But when you reach the hall again, you see a sweat-suited thug coming up the stairs. "I'll get you," he cries. I don't know. You whirl around a corner and run up the next flight of stairs, clutching the tape at your side. You throw open a door and step out onto the roof. You look over the edge. It's 3 stories down to the pavement, but there is a huge pile of garbage bags in the alley. Shots ring out. You don't have time to think. You jump. You land in a heap of garbage. Shaken, but with no broken limbs. You climb down and run out of the alley into the street. There is a taxi nearby. You throw open the door and dive inside. Keeping very low, you tell the driver to take you to LaGuardia Airport. 3 hours later, you were seated once again in Obart's office in Washington. Good work, he says. You got the tape and the information needed for us to break up the biggest spy ring in the country. The end. I'm disappointed, quite frankly. That, not cool. We're never going to meet Double I this way. Double I. Double I. That's going to be my new like gamer tag. Yeah, we won. Shaken, not broken, 007. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Let's see. Yeah. There are too many ways to win in this one. I believe there are 40 possible endings. Oh, I was saying before this book was wow. This book came from Allen County Public Library, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yep, 40 possible endings. Let's see. Yeah, Miss Frizzle. Like, what? Okay. All right. So, it's 5 minutes to normally the time when I start to wrap this up. So, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think? You feel like sticking it out for one more? Or are we going to pack it in? Call it a night? I am a man who serves the people. I am but a humble servant of the people. Can't find a good place to put Rob's picture. All right, there we go. Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a really weird one. Oh, while we're here, while I'm waiting for you guys to choose on the poll, I'll show you the cover. So you can get that a little bit better. These drawings. The old guy with the glasses is Mr. Obard, the head of the whatever. This is that. Where is it? Where's my finger? Can't figure it out. I don't know. There it is. That bald guy is one of those weird thugs, and of course there's the whale. Man, there's a lighthouse. What? What are we missing out on? All right. That dude is 50% chin. All right, Rob. Now goes on the pop doll. Oh, I can't. All right, whatever. Rob doesn't fit on the pop doll, so. One more again. Let's see what we can do here. All right, we've read this opening sequence. I don't know. We've read this opening sequence 3 times now. I'm gonna bypass it. We're just gonna get to the first decision-making stuff. Are we going to? Sorry, that's not how you spell that. Are we going to visit Klein, the good doctor who was hanging out with Dumont, or are we gonna go to the center to talk about whales? I wanted to say something, and now I totally forgot what it was. Ah, well. Let's see what's happening here. All right. We're just about halfway through the poll. See who's hanging out in the stream. Another viewer. Love the name. Welcome to the stream. I don't know that you've been here before, but if you haven't, we're reading Choose Your Own Adventure novels. I read them. You choose where we go. If we die, I take shots. Because it's Sunday night in quarantine. What better have we got to do? uh, Shiloh May, you've been here for the whole show. Just want to say what's up. Appreciate you hanging out. Lurks, that is an awesome name because you were certainly lurking. Appreciate you just dropping in for a moment and checking us out. Hope you stick around for the next, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes as we attempt to kill me once again. And we move on. We're going to run up to the center once again. Trunks. That's too much. All right. All right, you take a taxi cab to the center, a modest two-story building on the Charles River, and are met by Dr. Miles Ruff, the assistant director. He tells you that although whales are highly intelligent animals, there's no evidence that they communicate in a complex fashion, as do human beings. Whale songs are probably no different from bird songs, except they are longer, Ruff says. After all, whales have much larger lungs. Your conversation is interrupted by a phone call from Paul McKinn, the assistant to the president. McKinn tells you that the president has received another letter from Dr. Dumont, but that it had mysteriously disappeared before he had a chance to read it. You better get down here as quickly as possible, McKinn says. You didn't call me by my name, you reply. There's a short pause. Sorry, Jonah. He replies, you inform Dr. Ruff that you must leave for Washington, but he urges you to wait a while in order to talk to Dr. Renata Carini, an Italian scientist who is expected at any moment. She knows a lot about what the Russians are doing, Dr. Ruff says. I'm sure it'll be worth your while to stay here and talk to her. Our next choice, are we going to head to Washington to figure out the missing letter, which is a crap storyline, or are we going to wait for the doctor? Oh man, gonna look for a weird drawing of a doctor again. Commander Root, what's up? Welcome. Appreciate you dropping in. Hope your night's going well. Here we are, reading Choose Your Own Adventure novels. 'Cause why not? Let's see, a little over halfway done on the poll. If you haven't already, I urge you to vote. That is not a push for you to do your civic duty, but instead, choose my death. Let's see, it looks like we're going to wait for the good doctor. I'm just going to advance ahead to page 14. That's where the good doctor's waiting. Wait, what? That's weird. I don't remember this. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just make sure that I've got the right page because this is weird. Page 14, okay. I don't remember this. Maybe I screwed up somewhere. All right. Yeah, I definitely don't remember this. All right, well, you wait impatiently for several hours until Renata Carini finally arrives. A slim, black-haired woman with olive skin and luminous, dark eyes. She speaks flawless English. Claude Dumont is convinced that the whales have developed a language, she tells you. Do you think he's right, you ask? I'm sure of it, she replies. We have not been able to crack their code. They have cracked ours. Dun dun dun. They are able to speak to us, but they are not yet... Wait. They are able to speak to us, but they are not yet ready. What do you mean? Suppose, she replies, all-powerful beings from outer space are plundering the Earth and killing off most of the human population. They enter our atmosphere in spaceships that travel at the speed of light. We don't know what the aliens' language... Wait, we don't know the aliens' language, so we can only broadcast the message in our own language and hope they understand it. What would you say? What? I would have to give that some thought, you reply. Of course, Carini says. The whales have been giving it a lot of thought, but right now, we must save Dr. Dumont. What kind of interaction is that? Do you have any idea how to do that? Yes, I do, Carini replies. The Russians will want to get Dumont aboard a Russian submarine. Their agent in charge of this is known as Double I. He owns a villa in Truro on Cape Cod, and he has his own yacht. We must stop him, you reply. My XK Ferrari is waiting outside, she says. You excuse yourself for a moment and telephone Hubbard to get his thoughts. Oh, excuse me, Obard. That's weird. Oh, you know what happened, guys? I bypassed a page. I'm sorry, that's totally my fault. Okay. And then I jumped in on this page. We think Carini is on the level, he replies. But we just got a startling report from our informer in New York. The Russians are analyzing the whale song tape in a brownstone house off Central Park, occupied by a man named Ivan Ivenko. We are now sure that Ivenko is Double I. Can you follow this up? You may be able to break this case wide open. Okay, so our next choice is, are we going to go with the doctor to Truro, or are we going to go to the Big Apple once again? Now, if I had to, put it out there, I'd say if we end up going to New York once again, we definitely have to choose to lie. And in that lying, there's a really good chance that we'll get killed once again. Just saying. Oh boy, these books. Every time I pick one of these up and I kind of glance at it and skim the pages, I always think I always think I have a good handle on what we're, in store for it. And I am so wrong every single time. It's, it's really tremendous how wrong I can possibly be with this. Any hoozle. Let's see. Excuse me. Going with the good doctor on page 31. Here we're going to have a nice romantic rendezvous in Italy. Oh no, Cape Cod. We're going to Cape Cod. Never mind. Never mind. Cape Cod's not romantic. Renato Carini maneuvers through traffic like a veteran race car driver. In a few minutes, you approach the highway to Cape Cod. You think you know where Dr. Dumont is being held? How do you propose to contact him, you ask? You must realize, she says, that Dumont and I are experts in communication. We each carry a miniaturized ultrasonic communicator that is inaudible to human ears. You nod and study the map while she concentrates on pressing that Ferrari to its limits. By the time you approach your destination, darkness has set in. But Carini seems sure of herself as she cuts through dirt roads and through the scrubby brush, skidding wildly as the Ferrari barrels through sand that has drifted onto the road. Take it easy, you say. If we get stuck in the sand, your 300 horsepower engine won't do us any good. Is this an ad for Ferrari? What's going on here? I work best walking a tightrope, she replies. Oh my goodness. A few seconds later, she screeches around a sharp curve and pulls the car off the road onto hard ground. I used to come here in the summer for vacation, she says. I know these sandy roads, the freshwater ponds, the paths to the blackberry bushes and the dunes, the beaches, the pebbles on the beach, the whole business. Relax, lady. Where do we go from here, you ask? We'll follow this path. We'll soon be able to see the lights of the house. Then I'll activate my ultrasonic communicator. Oh, goodness. The two of you make your way through the brush for 100 yards or so by flashlight until you see the lights of the house ahead. Shh, we're close enough, Carini says. Now I can find out whether Dumont is there. She holds the communicator in the palm of her hand, extends a tiny antenna, and taps out a silent message. You stand next to her, skeptical, wondering. We're transmitting. I've raised the intensity even though you can't hear it, she says. Um, in a moment, you hear an answering response on the communicator, but is quickly drowned out by the barking and growling of dogs coming at you from the house. That's the problem with these things, she says. People can't hear them, but dogs can. At least we know Dumont is in there, but the dogs will be here in a moment. They may be attack dogs, you say. What should we do? You're an agent. Who cares? Like, oh, attack dogs. I don't know. Suddenly, two large German shepherds are coming right at you. Karini activates her communicator. She is able to hold them at bay for a moment by directing high-intensity ultrasonic vibrations at them. The dogs whine with pain. You hear voices near the house. All right, here's our next choice. Actually, what I think she texted Dr. Dumont is, "You up?" Um, to which he replied, "Winky face." Let's see. We can tell Carini to run to the Ferrari, run back to safety to the Ferrari, or you tell her to keep the dogs at bay while you circle around and try to surprise the KGB agents. This should be good. Run to safety of the Ferrari, or attempt to circle around as she holds the dogs at bay. This is going to be extraordinary. Whatever happens here is going to be extraordinary. I don't know if you can hear this, but it makes a comedic cartoon gurgling sound, which, as a sound engineer, is extraordinarily funny to me. Let's see what's happening here. And no one's voting. Let's see. All right. Looks like I'm going to have to make the decision. That's the decision I was going to make. We're going to surprise the agents. Page 56. Ooh, too far. Too short. What? There's another picture of her. That's weird. Anyway. While Carini holds off the dogs with ultrasonic pulses, you circle around through the brush. You hear the dogs howling and whining as they follow the car, and the man shouting in some Slavic language. As soon as you reach the lawn behind the house, you soon reach the lawn behind the house. Much better. In the fading light of the moon, you can see the path leading down the beach. There is a sliding glass door at the back of the house which leads to the lower level. You try and find it locked. You slip a jackknife blade into the handle and pry the door open enough to jam in a power wedge from your entry kit. In a moment, you are inside. You hear voices from upstairs. The lower level is dark and silent. You sweep your Instaflood lamp around the main room. There are sofas, a television, and at the far corner, a large pool table. You sit on the couch and play pool. You walk into a hall which leads to several rooms with closed doors. You try the first one. It is locked, but a voice calls from within. Yes, what is it? Oh, all right. All right. Our next choices include, and are limited to, say softly, is that you, Demont? We'll say speak. Or, if you step a little further down the hall and wait to see what happens. So we either attempt to make contact with Dumont, or we step out of the way and see what unfolds in front of us. Either way, extraordinary sleuthing and spying. This is going on much longer than I anticipated. Whatever. Let's see what is happening. All right. Leaning on wait and see. A fairly strong policy of mine. Just wait and see what happens. And I'm just going to jump ahead because it looks like that's not going to change. So, page 62. Oh man, this is a long one. Dumont may be in that room, but you decide to hide and let the enemy agents come to you rather than expose yourself. So you cautiously explore the hallway, and at the end is a utility room and a workshop. You hear voices and the sound of footsteps descending the stairs. In a moment, you can tell they are opening the door to Dumont's room. All right, Comrade Dumont, a voice says. It is time for you to go on your sea voyage. Through the crack in the door, you watch two men start to lead Dumont upstairs. There is no way to capture them without endangering his life. You cautiously follow them upstairs. The living room looks like the staging area for an amphibious assault. Big word for little kids. There are two rubber rafts, packs of equipment and food, and several automatic weapons. Suddenly, you see an opportunity. Dumont is separated from the agents. You run into the room, your auto rifle at ready. Don't any of you move, you shout. Keeping an eye on your prisoner, keeping an eye on your prisoners, you call the local police, the FBI, and then Obard. You wait tensely, then breathe a sigh of relief as you hear the shrill wails of sirens. Within a minute and a half, the police have taken the enemy agents in custody. It looks as if you can get some rest for a change. You're about to leave with Dumont and return to Boston when the phone rings. It's Obard. The president wants both of you to come to Washington immediately, he tells you. You arrive at the White House early the next morning. The president greets you with a warm smile and vigorous handshake. I have good news for you, Professor Dumont. He says, I've been on the phone with the Soviet premier. We have agreed that the cavern has very limited military value and that we will negotiate a treaty providing that you will forever be reserved, provided it will forever be reserved for the whales. I'm appointing you, Professor, as chairman of a commission to draft the proposed treaty and thus set the rules for protection of the whales. The next thing you know, some TV cameramen are filming you shaking hands with the president. Someone else is playing the new whale song on a tape player. It's beautiful music. The end. Yeah. So that was a weird one. I guess, you know, written in 1980, 1981, or published in 1980, 1981, it has a lot to do with current events at the time. America's embroiled in the Cold War with Russia. You know, espionage is a big deal. And there's a whole, lot of saving the whales chants. So I guess that's why that book is the way it is. I don't know. I wish I had a better with Jerry Springer wrap up to this, and I don't. War Boss, I'm right with you. What is the question? WUT. I don't know. I got nothing. But what I can tell you is, join me next week. It's okay. It's about the journey. It's true. Join me next week. Same channel, Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Geekade, right above me. Where I read The Third Planet from Altair. It is the 7th book in the series. It was also written by Edward Packard, who has written the last couple that we've read, Mystery of Chimney Rock. The code name is Jonah, and now The Third Planet from Altair. I don't know what to expect from that one. I can safely say that there will be a lot of words that I can't pronounce because they are made up names to fictitious planets and entire solar systems and galaxies. My hope is that at some point we can be, I don't know, swept out of an airlock or vaporized by some kind of space pistol. I don't know. But anyway, I am going to call it lots of dying right there. Yeah, well, in this one we didn't die a whole lot. We did die. We died too, let's see. We got shot probably right in the face on that one where we said we were not going to do what they tell us. That's a Rage Against the Machine 9. Anyway, I am going to bid you all adieu. I wish you a great rest of your evening. And if you watch this not on the stream, but instead on the YouTube channel, I hope you make the most of whatever is in front of you. Be kind to one another, and I will see you guys next week for the next installment of Stream Your Own Adventure. Take it easy.